sometimes it's nice to just deal with a good old boy.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Welcome to another minisode. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast chair. Had an experience this morning I wanted to share with you. It teaches a lesson, I think. It really does. You know, another thing that teaches a lesson is, efficiency, being able to keep track of what you're doing with your appraisal world and your appraisal office and, hey, your appraisal business. How about ANOW software? Check them out. Go to anow.com. Again, it's anow.com. All right, folks, let me set this up. It's going to be a quick mini-sode today because I just wanted to share with you an experience I had this morning that kind of flies in the face of everything that I teach. Not really. I actually teach in my customer service training when I hire a new customer service representative. One of the processes I teach, and it's something I've talked about here on the microphone before, is what I call the Arnold Palmer effect. Now, I'm not talking about the golfer. I'm talking about the drink, by the way, which is named after the golfer. Shocking, I know. If you're not familiar with an Arnold Palmer, it's a non-alcoholic mixture between iced tea and lemonade, and I love it. It's one of my favorite drinks in the whole world. It's a little bit of sweet, and it's a little bit of just your standard tea. And I teach in my training that you should have a little bit of both, right? And the lemonade represents the friendly side of the conversation, and the tea represents the professionalism, right? And basically, I say this: you can have too much of each, and you can have too little of each. You got to find that balance, right? You can have too much of the friendly, and you can get to the point that it's not a very professional phone call, and you've all been on those phone calls. You know what I'm talking about. And then, of course, you can have too much of the professionalism, which makes you sound like a robot, that you're reading off of a script and that you don't care. And, and it's just super annoying, okay? You need to find a balance between taking care of business, getting things done, and being friendly. But I spent a lot of time talking about running a professional appraisal office and the fact that many of us don't. Many of us answer our own phones, and we stumble around. And when I say stumble around, I mean stumble around when you're on the phone because you're out there trying to measure and answer the phone at the same time and trying to figure out, how to set an appointment when somebody's called back after you've left a message with them. And it's just sometimes it's not very professional. And sometimes it, I think, gives us a bit of a black eye when it comes to appraisers. So I'm a big proponent of procedures. I'm a big proponent of systems and following those systems and making sure that you do things in a professional manner, right? I'm a big fan of making sure that your phone is answered, right? That you're not too busy, that it goes to voicemail, that you have somebody delegated to answer that phone. And if they're busy, that it goes to the next person. I'm not a fan of voicemail. Let's put it that way. You can ask every customer service representative in my office. I am not a fan of voicemail. It's something I check frequently, meaning I check to see how many we received. And if it's not just dead air or it's something weird or something like that, I'm blowing up, right? Why did we have 2 voicemails today? I don't like it. I want people to get a live person. I want them to have an experience that is stellar, that is excellent, that is beyond what is normal. That's the kind of thing that that's the kind of office I want to run. Now, that being said, when I get back from the break, I want to tell you a true story that happened to me this morning that I think teaches another lesson as well. It's the good old boy that I talked to this morning. First, I want to pause here and remind you about a great program which will allow you to systemize. Folks, one of the things that ANOW does is it allows you to be able to put milestones, steps, if you will, into the program, which you can click off along the way. And it can remind you of the things that you can do as you're working on your report, right? Pulling comps, making adjustments, visiting the property, scheduling the appointment, whatever you want to put in there can be totally customized. As you click that off, you can kind of see the progress of that report. It's pretty cool. Check them out. Go to anow.com. That's anow.com. Folks, I'm in the process of purchasing a home, and it's in another state. And I have opportunities to rub shoulders with all kinds of people when I am doing real estate investing. I love it. It's a great opportunity. And one of those is other appraisers. And I got a call this morning, and it was very interesting. He had no idea I was an appraiser. I didn't tell him. That's fine. And he called, and he said, "Hey, my name's Gary. I'm your appraiser. I want to go out there on Friday, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Well, Gary, good to meet you. I am actually out of state. I've never even seen the property. Sight unseen was the purchase. He goes, oh, that's interesting. And I said, yeah. And we talked back and forth. Folks, I asked him how long he'd been appraising. He kind of laughed. And I said, I'm not judging you. I'm just curious. And he said, well, I've been doing it since 1982. And I said, okay, cool. I like that. I think my dad has been doing it since 1979 before he retired several years ago. And I said, good on you. Good for you, Gary. And we had a great talk, folks. I'll tell you, there was a strong mix of friendly, a very low mix of what I would call professionalism. Now, granted, he got everything done. He was very cool to talk to. I talked to him a little bit about the uniqueness of this property. I asked him if he had been asked to do a 1007. He had been, because it is going to be an investment property where it's going to be rented out. We talked a little bit about that and how there's probably not going to be a lot of rents in that area. He told me a little bit what he was going to do. I got off the phone and I said, you know what? That was refreshing. And that's why I got on the microphone today, folks. Sometimes it's nice to just deal with a good old boy. I will tell you this, not to be geographically biased, but this property is located in the South. And I got a big dose of Southern hospitality. A big shout out to my colleague Jarrett, who also comes from the South, if you will, Kentucky. And he and I have this conversation quite frequently about, there's business and there's friendly and there needs to be a good mix. And he's a good reminder to me of taking time to listen to people, to talk to people, to get to know people, to be friendly with people. Folks, there is a lesson to be learned about being the good old boy, and I don't mean that again to be biased on a gender basis either. Good old girl, whatever. Southern hospitality. Love the experience I had this morning. I think it's a great reminder of some of the ways that we need to treat others.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.